One of my names just got some love in our first touchdown round robin. You can probably guess who it is. First, though, Dave, you get to go first. And you cashed your play on this last week. So take a round of applause. Take a victory lap for us.
We did, though. However, I should technically say the play cashed. I did not cash because, as I mentioned on Tuesday, I took my guys for 60 yards instead of 50 so that I could meet the profit boost requirements. And I watched George Pickens finish with 57 at a game I was watching in person, catching a huge touchdown in front of me. So a little disappointed there. But if you followed my actual advice, which is probably the better move than what's going on behind the scenes in my brain, then you cashed. But it was a good theme. We liked it. We're going to stick with it this week. Plus 22.85 parlay of 50-plus receiving yards and an anytime touchdown. Cortland Sutton versus the Jets. Tetairoa McMillan versus the Cowboys. And Devontae Adams versus the Ravens. All three of these guys are projected for 65-plus yards and a 35% anytime TD probability in the Dimers model. Opponents of the Jets, Cowboys, and Ravens have all allowed at least 11 passing touchdowns each this season. I put a little tiny 5% boost on it, got it plus 2,400. Love this one this week. Hopefully all these guys come through, starting with Cortland Sutton over in London on Sunday morning.
Nothing better than having like a little parlay that relies on the morning leg and you wake up and it's already cashed by halftime of the morning leg. Just feels like you get your day off on the right foot. Dave, I've been loving the outlook from you with these solo plays from you, or these individual outlooks where you put together the 3 receiver parlays. It's been fun to play along with. And as you mentioned, you gave great advice last week. So we should probably all follow in line with you. I want to be just like you. So I'm not just taking your concept directly, but I am going after 3 pass catchers here, many of whom have been mentioned on this show in various ways already. We both have Tito McMillan involved. It was good for me to see that you and I both have him when we get to what we like this week. I keep beating a dead horse on this. I want the top pass catching threat against the Cowboys every single week. That's what Tito McMillan is. Now, Garrett Wilson was in my play for last week. He did not nearly have as many receptions as I'd hoped, but he did find the end zone late in that game against Dallas. Yeah. I just think it's inevitable one way or another that Dallas is going to give up a passing touchdown to the primary target. Tito is that. Just throw him to find the end zone in as a baseline. Then I'm also taking Emeka Egbuka and Amon-Ra St. Brown to find the end zone. It feels like Amon-Ra always gets in the end zone in primetime games. And we've talked about why Kansas City has been vulnerable to some of the superstar primary option types. Amon-Ra is that. Jameson Williams has been a total non-factor for Detroit this year. Kansas City secondary likes to play back and leave underneath routes. I think Amon-Ra is going to feast. And then Egbuka, we made the pitch in the first touchdown round robin, but the fact that this guy is still catching plus money any week right now with the injury concerns in the rest of the Tampa Bay receiving room, it baffles me. He's jumped from about plus 170 down to about plus 125 individually. So the books are catching up to what he is. But as long as you're giving me plus money for Emeka, I just think this is one of my favorite bets week in and week out right now. Give me McMillan, Egbuka, and Amon-Ra St. Brown each to find the end zone. It's just over 10-1 at DraftKings Sportsbook. 6 receivers for us this week, Dave. Technically 5 because McMillan's on both. Hopefully they can all come through for us.
Yeah, that'll be great. Feels like we've been very close or pretty on with some of our stuff at the end of the week. And, we're just showing you guys one way to use the Dimers data. We are just taking what's on site and flipping it into what we already like, looking at some matchups and trying to build something good for you guys.
Amen to that.